Hey Youtubians, it's Tony here from We Try Anything, channel likes try anything so you don't have to. And as it says, welcome to football. Now, what I thought I'd do, obviously this is a Puma inspired item here. What I wanted to do is just an item that I've had for some years, and I just thought I'd kind of feature it on the channel really. And as I like my watches and stuff like that, I went through a phase of just buying some kind of very random type watches. And while they were not the kind of watches that everyone would buy, it's just a nice slice of history. And this watch, I believe I bought around the it was around 2007 or 2011. That's when these, I've looked on Amazon, which you can't get them anymore, but unless you get them, try eBay or something. They were released around them dates. Now the reason why I'm saying there was a variation on the dates, because this watch here is a football inspired watch, and it'd be good if I had it the right way up. It is a football inspired watch. Now this is a Football Champion Italy Gents LCD dial blue, as it says there, which has a rubber strap to it. Now they did all sorts of different types of watches to here. Now you could get an English watch, Spain, Australia, America, all sorts of different types, and I'm guessing it's to do with the kind of tie-in with the World Cup and the varying kind of football kind of teams that will play for their countries in the World Cup. Now obviously what I'll do is I'll just unbox it, show you what's inside, and we'll just quickly go through the watch and just show you what I think. I'll just give you my thoughts on it really. Now I haven't worn this since I bought it, and the main reason is, and it is a reason I've seen on some of the reviews on Amazon, is because it never worked, or I never got it working, or I never bothered to get it working. It was just something that always sat in a box really. And what I did the other day, I managed to find a battery at a fit, which is a CR2032. Plucked up the courage to open it out the back, and I got it working. Now to be honest, it was very much an anticlimax, because I thought that'd be pretty good, but I'll show you later on in that, I can reveal to you how the LCD screen looks and the light works. But let's get it all unboxed and stop talking. So there's the actual cover to it there. I'm just going to put off to one side. And as you can see, if I just open it up, just look around, very nice football inspired turf covered box. So if I open it up, and I believe I've got it the right way, these probably wouldn't have been presented like that. I would imagine the instructions would have been in underneath it, but you do get, sorry, you'll have to forgive my son, he's playing Minecraft again, and it is half term, so, and I'm just trying to film this while the light's good, or while we got good light in the northeast of England for once. So there's the actual instructions about what they'll do. So if you do have one and you want to just freeze frame what each of them do, but it does show you the kind of things that this watch can do. Now I'm not going to go in depth into these things, because I'll be honest with you, you'll see why with the screen, but I'll show you the watch, and I just thought it was something that would be a nice little feature on the channel. So just getting the watch out of its kind of protective foam, which was an interesting concept when I did buy it. It does, straight away you're struck by the rubbery feel to it. Now as you can see, this has obviously got the Italian colours with the actual mode buttons down the side, or the various function buttons down the side, representing obviously the green, the white and the red of the Italian flag, and obviously the blue, which you would find on their jersey. Now if I just take the protective cover off, you can see the watch in all its glory. Now as I say, I did actually give this a wipe down, but it does seem to kind of enjoy having kind of that white rubbery feeling to it, so just bear that in mind as I'm kind of going through the review. But in terms of how it works or how it feels, other than its rubbery nature, it's all right. In terms of feel, as I say, yeah, rubbery, nice, okay. The screen hasn't got a scratch on it, because as I say, I've never really worn this watch. But in terms of how it looks on the arm and stuff, just I'll get that little reviewette out of the way, part of the review. It's all right. You can feel it more than other watches, just due to the nature of the rubber, and it's not a bad, it's all right. You're wearing it, because obviously it does feel a lot colder than what a leather strap or a kind of rubber, not rubberized, a silicone, or a how can I say, a plastic strap would feel. But in terms of how it looks, it looks great. As I say, they did do a load of different colours. They had the Spanish one, which was, I believe it was yellow. Australian, I think, was green. Obviously, the English one was red with the white and blue and all sorts going on here. But it was nice, and what appealed to me, I just like the actual kind of ethos, or the kind of tying up with Puma. Now I'm going to take this off, and I'll just show you the actual LCD display, see what you guys think. And as I say, I mean, it's no work of art, and it's obviously probably one of the darkest LCDs I've ever used. And it's a shame, really, because I mean, if it was the other way around, I would have no hesitation with using this watch. But I just find it, I mean, it works great in natural daylight, where you can see it a lot better. And I'm trying to see without the reflection of the screen just what you can see. And it does, let me see if I can get a light function. I believe that was the light function, and it's there's nothing much to it. I mean, you can see what you can see here is obviously it has a countdown for the two halves of the football game. So that was its little feature, other than the alarm, stopwatch, and the all the other kind of paraphernalia that the actual watch had, which you know, as well as the time. It did have a few little things that people who were into football, or obviously into the World Cup, would have enjoyed. Now, if I can get back to some form of normality with this watch, just 1 second. Right, managed to get back onto the time mode, as it were. Now, that button there does seem to change the actual modes to it, and then if I can just try and give you a better view of it, it's not the best, I must admit. It doesn't help. So as you can see, as a game mode, now that game mode, it will kind of count down the first and second half of the football match, which obviously 45 minutes each, with, you know, penalties and stuff like that if it was the World Cup and what have you. The next one is the alarm mode, where it does obviously set off the alarm. And I'd imagine it's quite a basic alarm. I've never really listened to it, but you know, I can't imagine it being like the country's music or anything like that. I'd imagine it'd just be like the usual beep beep sort of stuff. Time, that's obviously the stopwatch, I'm guessing. It's very hard to see from here, the stopwatch element of the watch. Oh no, sorry, that was the chrono mode. This is the chrono mode, which is the chronometer part of the watch, which, if I can just, yep, so that's obviously your stopwatch and stuff like that, with the usual laps and what have you. If I stop that, see if I can reset it. Yep, that's stopped. And then obviously it goes back to time mode. Now, in terms of this watch, I mean, it was something I really liked the look of when I bought it, and it just had a nice look in total. I mean, it very, you know, obviously the kind of photography made it look a bit more than what it was. But in terms of everyday use, I mean, as I said, when it turned up, it never worked, and I just didn't send it back. But I've managed to just get a battery in, and I've got it going. And as I say, it is a bit of an anticlimax, to say the least. I mean, if I can just see if I can get that light going. I mean, it does, when you get the light working. No, it's not very bright at all. It is just a very dim display, and it's such a shame, because if it was something that had an LCD that was either kind of a reversal of what this LCD is, or it's just something a lot brighter, a lot more bigger than, or a bit more in your face than this kind of thing is, then it'd be a great little watch. And as I say, especially as you can get it in the kind of colours of your country, or you know, the colours of the team that you support in the World Cup. It would have been a great little talking point at a football match, or you know, like obviously when we can all go back to, you know, enjoying football and stuff like that. It'd be something that'd be just you know, like you can wear it to a match, and you know, start a conversation or something like that. Especially if it's a World Cup match in the and you're into Italy, as it were, or into America, USA, or England. Which is a shame I never got the colours of that, because I should have got a few of these. But at the time, I can't remember how much I paid for it, but it was just something that, it was just a little oddity, and that's why I thought I'd just kind of feature it on the channel, because it is something that is football inspired, and it's just a massive shame they didn't do something a bit better with this screen. Now, while I can actually see it a bit better off camera, but not much more than what you're seeing here. And I would imagine, yes, probably in a very bright sunny day outside, you'd see this a lot better than what you're seeing here in a kind of a reflective room. But anything kind of darker than that, then I would say that you would struggle. And people do, I have read some of the reviews of this, and they do comment on that LCD screen, and it's just a massive shame. Now, would I suggest you go out and buy one? If you're really into football and you kind of like your football paraphernalia and your football kind of memorabilia, would be the word. I mean, this is something from what would be 10, 12, 13 years ago. And, you know, I would imagine these can only probably get a bit more rarer as we go up in the scale of time and stuff like that. And I would imagine these will probably become not so much a collector's item, but just an oddity that someone who's into football, loves the World Cup, loves their team, and maybe into their country's team, as it were, would probably like. I mean, it's something that it's it doesn't flatten out properly or anything like that. And as I say, being it rubber, I mean, unless the rubber's kind of warm onto your skin, you do feel it and you do know it's on your hand. But other than that, I mean, I can't remember how much I paid for it. It probably wasn't a massive amount, but you know, if you do see it on eBay and you just wonder if it's worth purchasing, and as I say, if you know, I'll say it one more time, if you are into football and stuff like that, it might be something that you might think, you know, this is a bit of me really. But in terms of everyday use and maybe you know, wearing it as a watch, as it were, then I think you're going to struggle a little, especially in low light like what we've got here. I think you're just not going to be able to. You can catch the time, as it were, you can just about see it, but unfortunately, it's such a shame that you just can't reverse that kind of screen, because otherwise I think this would be a great watch. But other than that, would I suggest it as someone who was looking for a watch just to tell the time and stuff, or maybe as an alarm or something like that? I would probably say on the strength of that LCD, then no. You know, save your money, get something like what I've, you know, like something cheap, what I've reviewed, done a review of just, I've featured a review on the channel for this constant watch from Argos. But if you are into your football and stuff like that, then, you know, go for it, because it would be something that, you know, you never know, in years from now, people might be starting to search for these sort of kind of mid-2000s, early 2010, you know, 2011 type timepieces really. And as it has got a strong connection to a certain, like, you know, a country's football team as such, then, and it is a kind of a branded item as well, being it Puma, you know, it might be something, you know, worth kind of finding out and and buying. So I'm sorry I haven't gone through all the review and stuff, you know, the whole timepiece, but it is something that's it's pointless, because the actual screen just would be too hard to kind of explain everything that's going on with this watch. But you know, with the two standout things being the football time countdown and stuff like that, it is just kind of a standard kind of timepiece really. But as I say, I hope you like the review, and I hope I just, you know, showed something a little bit more quirky than the usual kind of, you know, Apple Watch or any kind of Casio watches. I just thought it'd be just something just interesting to show on the channel. So I hope you liked the review, and if you did, then please give it a cheeky thumbs up. You know, I'll be featuring a few more of the kind of watches that I've got in my collection for a review and stuff like that. If you want to see more reviews from the We Try Anything channel, then please subscribe below. It always helps the channel grow. And thank you for watching, and we look forward to seeing you next video. Goodbye.